landmines and jellyfish. Welcome back to Knives, I guess, and how you doing? I hope you're having a great day. I'm having a great day. I hope you're having a great day. But do me a favor and hit that like button or the terrorists win. And on a recent live stream we went in on the Olatan's mini airship. So let's take a look at what we're holding, because it'll bother you if I don't. And you know I love you. So first things first, and most importantly, the pocket clip is tip up, which is the Lord's carrier. We have got the TLG10 here. We have got a flipper tab. Let's flick the bean. Very tiny. And we have got 2 inches of D2 steel. Okay. So it's been a long time since we saw this one on the channel. This is one that I carried, I used. I enjoyed it for a small knife. I liked Olatans. I don't have an issue with them. Like the Olatans that I've had. I've got the titanium, there's a T025, but that one I absolutely loved. This one I really liked. It carried really well for a small knife, and I did get to do some work with it, and it did a good job, a reasonably good job. The factory edge was a bit on the dull side, but it did what I needed it to do. So let's go out to the car hole real quick, and I'll show you the pile of cardboard that we made on the factory edge. Here you go. Alright, welcome back to the car hole, and here we have the tiny pile of cardboard made by the factory edge on the Olatan's mini airship. This may very well be the smallest pile we've ever seen. Okay, so now that you've seen that, that was possibly the smallest pile we've ever made on a factory edge. I believe that's the smallest one. It's definitely the smallest one that I've gotten on camera for you guys since I started doing the follow-up videos this way. That was pathetic. So I wrote down what happened here, and that when we started this off, we had a 273, which was already not good. But 55 minutes. We didn't even make it a full hour. We pulled a 492, a 366, and a 416, and our cuts were looking like this right here. That edge was toast. Oh no. Oh, there we are. Okay, another piece of cardboard fell down that I needed. Okay, I'm back. So, yeah, that was disappointing, but we sharpened her to 325 grit and stropped her down to 5 microns, and we got it down to a 180 on the edge sharpness tester, which we had to freehand sharpen. I don't quite have sharpening blades this tiny on the Precision Adjust Professional figured out yet. I don't quite have that figured out, so we had to freehand sharpen this. Getting it down to a 180 is not too shabby. But we got 10 cuts on the hemp rope. We got 10 cuts on the rope, and it went up to a 459. So it lost damn near 300 points. Like, it lost 200. Like, it was almost 300. No math good. My brain doesn't work right. So we sharpened her again, and we sharpened her down to 170, doing 325, and then doing 1,000 grit on the sharp awl. And we stropped it down to 0.1 microns to give it the best shot that we could. Now, let's go back out to the car hole, and let's look at the pile we made on the new edge. Here you go. Back to the car hole, you guys. But here we have the pile made on the second edge that I hand sharpened on the Olatan's mini airship. More than doubled the performance, but still, it's not a big pile. Okay, so now that you've seen that second pile was a lot nicer than the first pile. Like, it was significantly better. Significantly better. Now let's take a look at the timeline of events and let you know how things happened. So at 33 minutes, we started seeing weird cuts. So we stopped and pulled a 314, a 331, 282 off of a 170 at 30 minutes. After an hour, we pulled a 402. It was still cutting kind of weird, so at 30 more minutes, an hour 30, we stopped and tested again, 312-ish. We couldn't quite find that 400 again, but we did find a 387. At the 2-hour mark, no testing whatsoever. At 2 hours and 50 minutes, we had a 536 and a 472, but here's what the cut started looking like, you guys. That edge was completely roached out. It was roached out at a low number. We didn't even see 600s before the edge went south on us. I'm not sure what to blame, except maybe the D2 is definitely on the softer side. That may have been an issue. It may have been an issue with my hand sharpening. I'm not entirely sure. I will say the hot spots. Oh, Lord, did the hot spots ever show up? Because when I was cutting, I got basically a 2-finger grip. Like you can see, I got a 2-finger grip, and then like that's kind of hanging on a little bit. But we're push cutting, and you know, again, this is my grip on this. So when the hot spots showed up right here, they got really bad. Now, I thought having the lanyard on here would give me some extra purchase, and it definitely kept the knife from going forward in my hand at all, which wasn't a major issue. But it didn't really give me any more control with my pinky over the blade. It didn't really have enough tension on it to do a whole lot of good. So the lanyard didn't do what I hoped it would, but it was still there. It was nice to have something in my hand instead of having my hand, like, you know, completely closed up and even more uncomfortable than it was. You know, trying to hold something this small and doing that many push cuts will definitely wear your hand out, and it wore my hand out. But guys, this is where running into more soft D2 is driving me up the damn wall. The soft D2, because, like, you know, if you haven't been here and you weren't here a long time ago when we got a lot of good D2, and I mean all of our D2 was good, the kind of sessions that we did, the D2 would take 4 hours. 4 hours of doing these cuts on a factory edge instead of 55 minutes. And when we sharpened it to 17 degrees per side and gave it a really high mirror polish, we'd get closer to 5 hours of nonstop cutting. And yeah, we haven't been getting that. You know, the 2 hours and 50 minutes is some of the best that we've seen out of D2, but the D2 is still a little bit soft on this thing, as I'm entirely sure we just got kind of soft D2. It'll still get you where you want to go. It'll still get you where you want to go. It'll still take care of you, and you probably won't have to sharpen it for a while. But man, like, I was hoping that we would get the old D2 performance, because we've had this thing for a while. We've had this thing in hand for a while. It was in the box for the random roll, and I threw this on the table just to give some consequence to the D20 of Destiny, just for the D20 of Destiny to pick something I didn't want to use that was going to be a bit of suffering. And we had 4110. We had the Bowler K110 out there, which is Bowler's D2. We had some other D2 out there. We had some stuff that was good to go, and I would have much rather used, but the D20 of Destiny landed on this one. So if you guys haven't been there for a random roll live stream, I suggest you drop by and check them out. They're a lot of fun, and there's no telling what we're going to get to run with. But that's what we got this time. And I'm a little disappointed in the D2, but this D2 is done better than a lot of the D2 that we have done recently, so take that for what it's worth to you. 2 hours and 50 minutes, not good for D2, but for the D2 that we have run recently, that we have run into so many issues with, it's better than that. So, I mean, I guess somewhere like a 5 out of 10, could be a lot worse. Could be significantly better, but could be a lot worse. So, you guys know I love sharing what happened with you during Cardboard Slayer. That's what happened with the Olatan's mini airship. It's okay. I think I paid $20 for it. So, at $20, not bad. I'm okay with it at $20. But all that being said, thanks for looking at my crap. Subscribers, you guys are awesome. I'll keep coming in. I appreciate you so much. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We got live streams, regular videos. There's plenty of activities. Comments, I love some feedback. Let me know what you think about this thing or anything else. And all that being said, y'all have a nice day.